Being an entrepreneur might appear to be easy, but things didn't just get this way. Welcome to the Broken Entrepreneur Podcast. Yo, baby pop. What's up, y'all? It's your favorite perky barista, Juanita Michelle, and you are tuning in live to the Broken Entrepreneur Podcast. We broadcast live at Third Perk Coffee House and Wine Bar in beautiful downtown Dayton. And today, I have got one of my favorite people.
Take that, losers. You know who I'm talking about, not the viewers. You know who I'm talking about.
You know what? We're not going to do that.
Yes, we are.
We're not going to do that.
We're there now. I don't see them being on the screen. Never mind. All right, so back to the...
You know what? I am going to let Peanut start over again. Hi, guys. It's Juanita Michelle, and I have P-Dashes with me from the Legendary People Podcast, from Network and Chill, from Sell Stocks, Not Dope, from all of the things. He is a legend in his own right. He is a community saver, healer, promoter. He is the architect of love. He just wants to go around loving people. Okay.
I like that. Architect of love.
Yes, I gave you that.
Thank you.
So, as you guys know, we are broadcasting a Broken Entrepreneur Podcast here at Third Perk Weekly. We are doing this podcast because somewhere in 2022, I recognized my personal loss. There was a lot of loss in 2022. There was a loss of the most important person in my life, my mom. We lost business to competitors. Where we were once upon a time the special coffee house. Now there's a zillion coffee houses. Yeah. And we lost, we had mechanical issues. It was just, 2022 was just a troublesome year for us. And I didn't take it personal. It wasn't like the Juanita cloud is walking around. But in my lack, in my loss, in everything that I was going through, understanding my brokenness and wanting to heal myself. So that's what this podcast is about. It's about me healing myself, talking with dope entrepreneurs, talking about what they do, how they are so special, and also getting from those entrepreneurs things, challenges, circumstances that they have overcome, and they give us advice on how they overcame. So, P-Dashes.
Oh, man.
So, y'all heard this story before, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. But I met Peanut at Go For Your Mouth in the studios. We were taping the Legendary People's Podcast.
Shout out to Ahava.
Yes. So I forced myself on the show. Peanut doesn't know that, but I forced myself on the show. I forced Todd to let me be a part of the show because I felt like, ain't I legendary? Shouldn't I be on the show?
Right.
Yes. Absolutely. So after being on the show, and again, Peanut knew all about me. He knew where my drawers were in my bathroom.
I know the last 4 of her social security number easily.
He knew all of the information. And I thought he was an amazing interviewer, amazing person, and that hasn't changed in almost 2 years. Going on maybe 3. It's been a while.
Yeah. We rocking.
So, Peanut is here today to tell us more about himself and what he does, because he's always talking to people and getting their stories out. Now we want to know more about him.
Right.
Maybe he'll tell us his real name.
Maybe.
His government name.
My government name is Curtis Johnson. As you can see, if you guys Google Resource, which is my last book, it has my name right there. It's not a big secret. You got to just do your Googles. But it's
a secret.
It's not a secret. Professionally, I go by Peanut because I mean it's always been my nickname. So even when I graduated high school, all my teachers in high school called me Peanut. So when it came time for my mother always tells this story all the time is when they announced my name on stage, they didn't say Peanut, they said Curtis Johnson, and it was like everybody was all quiet, and my mom still was like, "Yay, Peanut!" And you heard the whole crowd while I'm starting to go, "Oh!" It was the funniest thing ever. The whole crowd went, "Oh!" and then start clapping. So. Yeah, Peanut fits me more. I mean, Curtis is my dad's name. That is my dad. Like, my dad is Curtis. I'm Peanut. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So tell us about what you do. Tell us about your entrepreneurship journey.
Okay, so that is the best way of putting it. My entrepreneur journey is me learning something and giving it back, right? And that is exactly what led me to what I'm doing today. So if you talk about, how I freed myself from a 9 to 5, it was me learning how to trade stocks, me using that as a caveat for me to be able to get out of 9 to 5, to me to look around and start to do other things. So one of the things that I did when I failed at first, I wouldn't say failed because it really wasn't failures because I did see signs of success, but I saw it really wasn't what I wanted to truly do. And I'm the type of person, if I'm truly passionate about something, I'm all the way in. Like one of my superpowers is consistency. So the very first thing I did was I started a YouTube channel and I wanted to get people to become sponsors. So to entice people to do it, I created my own sponsor by starting my own business. So the business I started was thefuturetechstore.com, right? So where I literally started, selling products. I would buy products and I would sell it, but they would just entice people to become sponsors. And that right there turned into people were paying me to do sponsors on my ad. So it's kind of like, okay, cool, get this out the way. And then so it kind of was like that type of journey. And then everything I would learn on my way of trying to build my own YouTube channel were things that I use now. So I teach people to be a capitalist, not a victim, where literally you're monetizing convenience. So everything I've done, like for instance, you could break your neck trying to run up and down those steps, or you come to someone who's an elevator. And that's what I would like to be for other people.
Okay. I like that. An elevator for other people.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us, what are some of the services that you provide as you are moving people up and down on the elevator?
Man, it all depends on what day you ask me. Seriously.
Well, it's Wednesday.
Well, Wednesday is the day where I'm actually going around and promoting podcasts and help people get their podcasts monetized and things of that nature. But nah, I'm joking about that. So my daily schedule will be like this. So like, let's start with Sunday because the week starts on Sunday, guys. Remember that? Sunday?
Yes.
Right? Anyway, so I'm being silly. So anyway, so on Sundays I do Sell Stocks Not Dope, where I literally go over effective ways for you to make money off the market. So it's more or less along the lines of me telling you easy plays rather than you may have someone that's going to drop all these crazy plays and if this falls to this number, do this, and I'm just showing you the long game. I'm a buy, hold, seller. I'm not a options trader. I literally trade the same way Warren Buffett does, where I'm literally buying, holding it, and selling it. A lot of times I teach people to get dividends because they're literally paying you to have it, things of that nature. So by nature is that, and I also help people get their business funding and things of that nature, or grants and things of that nature. Okay. But it's other things I do as well, events and hostings, and I like.
You're a host?
Yes.
So tell me about one of the events that you've hosted.
So I've hosted recently, which is kind of off cue because I don't want to be pigeonholed into one corner. I want to be the stocks dude. Like nobody's more annoying than that one guy. What was that one guy from the ICB college commercial? He's like, my bad. Like I see you sitting there, you ain't doing nothing. You sitting on your couch out doing nothing. I don't want to be that person, right? I like to be seen in my real element. So I hosted Candy Bar's event. It was for a birthday party. Hosted that event. I've hosted speaking engagement when it comes to Judge Jero Parker. I went out there to speak with some of the people that's on probation. It's like their last chance. Okay. Spoken with them. I've been to your school as well to speak with your students, and I will be speaking to students again at the Dayton Leadership Academy on Friday. So I like to keep a nice, different taste palette when it comes to me helping people, because I feel like I should be able to go anywhere to help people. I shouldn't just be like, you got to meet me on a level. I'll come exactly where you are.
I like that. So tell us about your brand. You got on a t-shirt. Yes. What is that about? So
this is capitalist, right? So a lot of people may get the negative connotation when it comes to capitalist. I'm not wearing, on my back, you better see it as different. So capitalist is literally a watch list, right? So if you look at the C, that's Coca-Cola. You got Apple, you got PayPal, you got IBM, you got T-Mobile, Airbnb, Lilly, iHeartMedia, Skype, and Tesla. These were things that was inside of my watch list that I was buying, holding, and selling throughout the week. And I was like, man, like that's pretty dope. But what came later was all of the confliction I got off of the name. People kept saying, oh, capitalism. They kept equating what I was showing people to capitalism. And I'm like, it's not the same thing. I'm not at that level to where I'm infringing on anyone's person. I am the person literally at the drive-through that buys a 32 pack of water and he's selling you one water at a time for a small markup, right? That's what level I'm on when it comes to capitalism. But if you look at my logo on the other end of it, where it's a C, the A, and the E, and it's on both sides of it, it's for all and everyone. I want all and everyone to be participating in it, because if not, you're just going to be a victim of it, right? So if you go into these various places, like wherever you shop, wherever you go get your gas, wherever you go in all these different places, you don't own shares in it, then they're just making money off you twice.
You said money off you twice.
Absolutely.
Wow. What do you want to be?
A capitalist or a victim?
A capitalist or a victim.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different spin. So, how did you get into podcasting? Like, what came first? Were you working on the capitalist brand, or were you doing like the legendary people podcasting those things? What came first?
So it's great to ask that, because everything kind of runs where I tried something else before it got to this. So before I got to Legendary People Podcast, I used to do these. So I love battle rap. This is it's like my guilty pleasure, right? Because I'm going around being positive everywhere, and I'm sitting listening to the most negative thing in the world, or somebody like, right? It's like my guilty little thing. I know no one's gonna get hurt, right? It's like that, right? So I was inside this group called the Battle Rap, the BRC, the Battle Rap Community, or something like that. And they have a large following. They're kind of cult-like, right? It's like people that love battle rap, just like we got our own section, right? And they're not people that's listening to rap music. Like, we listen to battle rap, we debate on who won, we have full-scale discussions about it. But so I was in a debate group where we would debate on who won. And within that, it's kind of like I started to, get added to people's lives, and we would get a chance to speak. And then certain people that was in there was like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying, you did a real good job. So we started this thing called Mad TV Live, where we were just talking about battle rap, and the people that were in there, like, they didn't know anything about business, so they were doing things, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do all that, we ain't got no paperwork. And they look at me like, paperwork? What's that? I'm like, come with me. So we started the Cool Table TV Network. So if you ever go back to my first couple of videos, I would have those as like sponsors, and I kind of started, that's where I got my start, where we started talking about topics. I got a chance to just talk for hours, and we would just build, and it's kind of like some of the dopest conversations ever. But our scheduling conflicts is kind of what messed it up. We had one friend that's all in Florida, the other person was in Arizona, so getting her to be on the schedule with that, it just didn't really like work. So like during that process is when I got interviewed by Ahava, at the time he was SMED, on the T-Shirt King podcast. So he had saw what I was doing with Dash Resource, because the other one I kind of was just only doing on inside that group. But my Dash Resource was something I was already teaching on my own. So when I came to him, I already had subscribers, I already had followers. Every Sunday I was doing it. So during the pandemic, that's what I was doing. He knows what I was doing. And he is the kingmaker. Like, literally, like, never forget who turned the light on for you, right? Because, I was doing good and I was making my rounds, but he seen the light in me. He interviewed me, and I posted that video before, and we had like great chemistry, right? So it's not like our other ones now, 'cause we argue every episode now. But back then it was like perfect chemistry. He's like, man, listen, like if you need a, like a spot to come do your podcast or whatever, you come do it here. I'm like, I got my own spot, but I'm at my house doing it. So it's kind of like easy for me. And I had to travel all the way from where I was living way down here to do it. I'm like, it didn't make sense. But then when I was just thinking about it, like, well, this is a great opportunity. So, and then the rest is history.
Wow. You guys do have great chemistry. You would not know that, like, your relationship is new.
Mm-hmm, right.
So, yeah.
It literally blew one of his workers away the other day. It actually was just the other day when me and you was up there for, I'm pointing someone off camera. I'm like, me and you pointing at the camera, like, yeah, I was there, y'all singing. No. So, I was there, and then like they was like, did you used to work here or something? I'm like, no. They was like, how long have you known Smith? I'm like, only a couple years. They like y'all two are like brothers. Like, we do everything together. Like, it's not one day that go by I don't just talk to him or pop up on him or he won't pop up on me type stuff.
Now, and I have to get him on the podcast, but he has a book that's coming out.
Yes, Stolen, and it's co-written by your boy. Okay.
Oh, now how did that happen?
Now this is an amazing. Like, this is something that's going to be game changing and I probably don't take the sauce, okay? Because we already got everything worked out. But now, so from our interviews, right? We've always had this thought process of people are telling their full life stories, and these can be the backdrop for a book. So when we interviewed for his book, I mean his story, it was so deep and multi-layered. It took us 6 hours to do the full interview. So after we did the whole interview, he got it transcribed, and that is the book. So the book is such a easy read. You are literally, it gives you the feeling like you're just kicking it with us in the room while it's happening. It's the easiest read ever. Like, yeah, and he describes all that. He has pictures of us, stuff like that. So like someone who's never heard an interview is going to feel like they know us.
Okay.
You know?
I really can't wait to read it. Like, it's so many pieces, and he's talked about it. So tell me about what is the date of the book release? Can you talk about
Today.
Did you just pop up with the book?
Yes, I did. This is the book, Ahava, the book name Stolen. You can get it at iwasstolen.com. And I want you to just take one gander inside of this book.
Take a look. Look at this beautiful
Look at that. Look, beautiful. And me and her birthday is on the same exact day.
What's that?
July 24th.
Wow.
The most beautiful day of the summer, guys.
Oh, wow.
It never rains on my birthday besides last year because I kept saying that it doesn't.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a lot of things in there that I learned about Ahava that, I mean, so for people saying like, oh my God, it's like you guys been knowing each other longer than that, I do now. I done learned his whole life story. Like literally, like, yeah, me and him went from, you know, certain things that happened in his life. Like this book right here is, I mean, it is a true crime drama mixed in with generational curses, and it's so many twists and turns in that book. I mean, I'm underselling it, but I'm telling you, it is one of the greatest books ever. And I'm telling you, this is gonna be New York's best times, like literally.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And if you look a little further in there, you'll see a picture of myself and Peanut. So it's funny in the book, people are like, so it's Ahava Elion, Peanut, and Beanut throughout the whole story, just having a conversation. You have parts where he breaks off to like describe different things, but it's Peanut and Beanut.
Peanut, Beanut.
He spelled Peanut's name wrong. He spelled mine's right. I'm his favorite too.
You're everybody's favorite. Everybody's favorite. Get the book, yo.
You have to get the book.
Yo. So
you have to.
Speaking of books, you know, the coffee house has a book coming out.
Yes, I'm so salty that I was not a part of the first book.
That's okay. That's okay.
The
marathon continues.
Shout the Nick.
The marathon absolutely continues.
Yes.
So in our coffee table book that will be coming out on June 16th. So that is written in 4 quarters.
What's the significance of that date? Is there a significance to that date?
So June 16th is actually the day that we opened the original coffee house.
That's dope.
The very first day. And on that day, I thought it would be super duper dope to celebrate the original coffee house with the book.
Right.
And
so these are going to be things that took place at the 5th Street.
Yes.
That is amazing. Yes. That is, I love that space so much. I love this space, of course. I'm connected to this space.
God.
But I remember going down there it was a poetry night. It was so much stuff going on. We had wine. It was all the things I be trying to make networking chill like a little bit. But it's like, it was like the whole vibe. And I had my bro down here from he's from Ghana originally, but he lives in Cincinnati. He was like, hey, brother, like, we got to go back. I'm like, it's no longer.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So that space was so very special to me. And although I love this space, right? But it's still not the same. I love this location 1,000 times more. But that space was magical. That's where all the magic happened. And so many memories. So the book will capture a little bit about me. That's the first quarter. And then the second quarter really talks about the process of building the business. And the third quarter is all about the people.
That is super dope.
The people who've given their essays and their pictures. And then the fourth quarter really talks about what happened after we left 5th Street. So we're excited about that. And, you know, we continue. Everything goes on. So anyway, Peanut, tell us about a challenge or just a problem that you may have had in either the podcast, one of your many businesses.
Oh yeah.
But I'm interested in, because this is the Broken Entrepreneur podcast. So we want to know about those challenges, because in so many arenas, you always hear about what works, how you're successful, how much money you're making. But as I'm looking at myself in the things that didn't go right or systems that aren't flowing, and where I'm trying to rebuild things, I'm interested in other entrepreneurs. How did they get back on track? So tell me any challenge you may have had and how you got back on track.
Yeah, so I would say like the very first thing is, if you come into it just thinking, okay, it's gonna be a cash grab for money, and your number one motivating factor is the money, you're already going to be behind the eight ball, because you're going to miss out on those lessons, because you're going to say, oh man, forget that, I didn't make no money out of it, when really that's a part of the process. So I mean, if we just go back to that first example of the futuresexer.com, right? Like I remember, I'm so glad I get to tell this story. So it was this thing that I saw online. I'm like, bet it looks amazing. So I'm gonna put that a little secret on it, right? So I saw someone else that was selling something. I screenshotted, did a reverse image search to find it myself, so I could sell it myself, right?
Okay.
So within this, I literally found a website that sold it. I tried to, like, instead of like cut that corner, instead of me getting the product first, testing it out, I just put it on my website so I can just arbitrage it. Man, that was the biggest headache I've had, because like a whole bunch of people bought it. It was terrible. You had people sending me terrible reviews for it. You had somebody say he's a scam, and it literally was one of the worst things ever.
My goodness.
Yeah, it was literally one of the worst things ever. But and the fact that I didn't really love it that much, I was only doing it for the cash grab, and like that whole situation there, it was something I could easily abandon. But I still want to work myself through that process, at least walk away clean. Okay. So I'll issue everybody refunds. And even the one lady who was calling me a scam, okay, she's now my Facebook friend now, right? Hi, I can say your name, right? But no, seriously, it was that going on, and then there's so much other things that come along with that, right? Like you want to make sure that like you are taking that time to plan for things to mess up, right? Like during the pandemic, for example, like I would set it up to where, I would get the product sometimes, but sometimes it would take so long to get these orders that you're going to have people sitting there worried about how come they haven't received their product yet. And they're like, wait a minute. Like, it'll be someone who knows you personally, like, why does it take so long to get my product? Well, because I'm shipping it from XYZ. And they look at you like, well, you said you got it for sale now. Those type of things right there. And that really didn't sit well with my character. I like to be perceived as who I am. I really am a stand-up person. I sit with thousands of people. And that just made me like, nah, I'd rather not do that. I'd rather do something where I can have a direct impact, and that is in community work. I love to be able to be a person, you call me, you had a problem, I fixed it, because I can do it within my power. And that is something that I would do for free, because a lot of times I do. And that is something that, if you love something, you will.
Okay. So, any other...
I done dropped some fire, you feel me? Drop some fire, okay? The fire truck done pulled up. Don't never start dad jokes. You can never stop. There's another lesson I'm gonna teach you.
Because it may burn up everything.
Okay. It may burn up everything.
No sparks allowed.
No, none at all. No. Oh my God. Nope, I'm gonna say that one because that would be nope. All right.
You want to say it.
I'm not. Say it. Not. Say it. I'm not.
He's practicing discipline tonight, I guess.
You need discipline to be an entrepreneur.
Yes. Yes.
And let me tell you one thing I'm also breaking, which I be doing. Like, so I went to this amazing, I will say it's a conference, a workshop, right? By this beautiful Perky barista, right? You guys may know her. And
I'm sitting here like, ooh, what was it?
It was the strategic planning workshop, right? It was at this beautiful place that I'm telling you, this place is a resort, okay? If you guys, please make sure you guys go, because it's one thing that I picked up from there was a lot of things such as like my SWOT analysis, and you guys got to come to find out all the sauce. I'm not gonna do that. But one thing in there, she she made us be accountable for some of the things that we needed to fix and change. And one of the things that I thought would be so easy to do would be like, I'm going to plan one day a week. I think I said one day a month to not do anything.
Yes.
And today I came here and I told her, like, I just moved another thing to my date. I'm not supposed to plan nothing. And now my whole Friday that I was supposed to have to myself is essentially not, it ain't filled up because I still got the night, right? I'm not going to schedule nothing for that night. And that'll be where I draw the line first. Okay. And then I will continue to do that. And I think that's being more honest with myself than I was sitting there inside that workshop, because I really do want to help people. And it's like, I don't want to hit them with that, I'll talk to you on Monday, you know?
But at the same time, you do need to draw your boundaries, because that is important, because when you get a chance to step back and recharge, then you're even better for those people you want to serve.
Agreed.
So I do believe that self-care and you putting that time in to take time out for self is important, and you are going to have to guard that.
Yes.
Yes, you're going to have to guard that. Since you brought up the strategic planning workshop, tell me, how much value did you get out of that? Well, it was 1.5 days. So tell me a little bit about that, because that was something I took a lot of time to put together. And I thought that the time that we spent together as entrepreneurs, my goal was to really present a workshop where you were going to get some meat out of it. So
Absolutely. So one thing that I truly believe is your network is your net worth, right? One person I got a chance to build with right there before your eyes was Shatan, which is Grant Source, right? So I was already freelance grant writing. I had to add that, and it's like she was the perfect counterpart of what I had going on. She's the perfect, and it's like we glove in hand fit. So like the one thing is like the networking aspect. The one brother who does the fiber optic cables, me and him talk all the time. So he's all the way out in Alaska to all these different places. I'm like, bro, you will catch a cold, and I don't want to catch one. But anyways, but it's
Puerto
like
Rico today.
Puerto Rico today, right? But it's like the whole networking aspect of it has been like the most that stands out the most, like, because you're not going to be put in a room full of like-minded individuals that often that also aspire to get to the next level. A lot of times you hang around your social circles of friends who already had their dream that came and went. So they're not going to be a person that's going to motivate you to get to the next level. When you're around other people that is actively doing it, they've already seen levels of success, that they're trying to just break that glass ceiling. That right there was like the greatest revelation. The second thing I would say was, like the things that like you did that we still haven't got a chance to reap the harvest of. Like you had us write notes to ourselves, so it kind of made us think in the futuristic aspect of it. When I went to a business bliss the other day, it really like reminded me of it. Dr. Baker, I've already brought this guy up a million times. He has the small, it's the business clinic or hospital, something like that. Okay. Where you do your Googles when it comes to that. But he said something of these principles that like you've taught us in there. So it's like, if two people tell you the same thing, it's probably the truth. And when you say, yeah, you also are a genius, especially when it comes to business, right? But he was saying every decision I'm making today was based off a decision I've made 4 years ago. So it's not this spontaneity that sometimes I'm moving with, where it's like, oh, okay, boom, this is good, this is good, this is good. He's already set up what he wants to do 4 years ago. So something comes across his desk that doesn't fly or apply, he not rocking with it. So I think, going back to where my goals were, that when you told us to write down what we need to do, I need to be making them decisions today. So when it comes to that day I open that letter, I'm already there.
Okay.
So I thank you for that as well. Like that strategic work, that strategic planning workshop was worth its weight in cosmic crystal.
Oh. Cosmic crystal. Oh, that sounds heavy, I think.
Well, cosmic crystal is something you can't put a quantitative value on because it doesn't exist here. Gold is something that moves up and down. We know that.
I was thinking he was talking about pop rocks.
Well, if I talk to the Cookie Monster, it will be the biggest cookie ever.
I'm not doing that.
Yes!
I'm not doing it. I refuse. Peanut, I want to thank you for spending time with me today on the Broken Entrepreneur podcast.
Every day. You don't have to thank me for that. I will be here for millennia.
And ever and ever?
Forever and ever. I feel like we're kindred spirits. Like I've always known you. I've always.
You're missing the opportunity. Oh my goodness, y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of The Broken Entrepreneur. Again, Peanut, thank you for being here. Guys, tune in each week as we bring you another entrepreneur that shares with us their story and gives you some of their challenges and how they got over. And also, I want you to keep tuning in as we continue to share with you how we're building and growing with JM Enterprise and Third Perk Coffee House and Wine Bar. So until we meet again, you guys keep on brewing on good stuff and stay perky. Peace.
Killing them.